Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listen up. We are here with Dan, the podcast man, Dan, the home buying man, and documenting the journey with your boy, my boy, everyone's boy, Dan.
I think I can end the episode right now. That was it. Well, thank you. Thank you for the lovely intro on my own show. First and foremost, I said to you earlier, thank you so much for coming in. I was saying to you, you are somebody I definitely admire. I watch from afar, obviously through social media. You're one of the people that, because you live in Long Island and because you've been doing real estate in Long Island, that it looks tangible. Not to say you make it look easy, not saying that, but saying here's let's say you're a regular guy, but a little high level regular guy, much more. But I watch somebody like you, I'm like, wow, every day he's just going out there and he keeps moving. This guy doesn't stop.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so I'm very lucky that I actually get to see you and actually interview you and talk to you and have a good general conversation. So thank you, Brian. I do appreciate it.
No, this is a beautiful setup. I'm impressed.
Thank you. I don't think I won't get over that. Like the people keep saying that about the space. That's why I keep telling everybody just come here.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Awesome. Now, I know I could sit here right now, and since I got you in front of you, I have me in front of you. I feel like I have a great chance to kind of really know you in a different light. Because I watch you on social media and I see what you do, and I see what you do with your son too, and the whole little mini series, everything. I love how you're including your family. You know, I have 2 kids myself, so a lot of stuff across the board. But I really, really, I don't think I know anything in the sense of where did it start, man? Where did Brian Karp start? All I know is I pull up your Instagram and it's just but I don't have. Where's the backstory? And that's what I want to know.
I appreciate you leading me in. The backstory started, I grew up in Belmore, Nassau County, never a school person, wasn't a bad kid in school, but literally had zero interest in school. So I was the kid who would sit in science class, my knees would be racing up and down, and I would just stare at the classroom door, and that 45-minute science class felt like 4 hours long.
You're right. I'm listening to you and I identify with what you're saying.
Today I wake up at 4 a.m. I go to bed at 10 o'clock and the day is gone in a snap. So it's funny when you find your passion, you find your addiction, you find your oxygen, time doesn't exist. My father was a union construction worker.
What did your father do?
He was Con Edison.
Oh, Con Edison.
Local 3. Electrician. So he sits me down one day, Dan, and he's got these meat hooks his hands, like the guy who could turn screws with his hands. And he's like, Bri, school's not for everyone. He said, learn a trade. You'll always be able to feed your family.
How old were you when your father sat you down?
Oh, like 14.
Okay.
Because, and we'll get to it and further why he sat me down.
Yeah.
So he sits me down, and I'm unlike a lot of people. I've always been very coachable. So I said, Roger that, and I left school and I went to a BOCES and I learned the trade of electrical.
Oh, really?
And that was my plan. Graduate high school, go out into the trades. If you would have read the Brian Karp book of my life, that should have been who I was. So now, senior year in high school, I get offered a full scholarship to play football in college.
And this is all through Belmore, right?
This is all through Belmore.
Can you give me what year?
I'm 42, so what year is probably...
Roughly, yeah. I want to
say in the 2000s, probably. In the 2000s.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm at the crossroads because I'm one of the best athletes on Long Island to play football. I get offered scholarships to play football all across the United States. And so I have my mom on this shoulder who's saying, free school, you better go. My dad's wearing overalls and he's like, Bri, get out there, start hustling. You'll be in the union, life will be set. Parents married 51 years, never disagreed except for this one moment. So I'm at the crossroads and I'm like, what do I do? I think about it. I pray on it for a day or two, and I wake up one morning, and it comes to me. I'm like, I'm obsessed with football right now. Because when I was young, it was just, bigger, faster, stronger, eat, train, right? And I ended up chasing my dream, and I got a full scholarship, and I played football at Stony Brook.
Wow.
First year they went Division I, had a great career, graduated as a 2-time All-American.
Okay.
But let me back you up. Because
I'm just mind blown. Sorry, can I soak it in just for a second? Wow. That's remarkable.
Now, the reason why my dad told me to go into the union and learn a trade is because I have a learning disability. I'm dyslexic, but not dyslexic where I read on a third or fourth grade level. So if it wasn't for Siri and AI and before all of that shit existed, like, guys, I was walking around with like these big tape recorders for the blind. Like, the technology has changed my life and the world, but for someone who can't read and write, it's like game changing.
So I really appreciate, so same exact thing for me. So a little background on me, Brian, because father, local 79 laborer, same deal. So I hear a very similar story. We flipped houses together and remodeled houses too. So the same thing with the hands. Like, I just love how you said that because my father's hands the same way. But going with your dyslexia, even to this day, I'm just numbers backwards, forwards. When I was growing up, I was in special education, so I felt like I wasn't good enough at certain capacities. I had a lot of tests read to me. And I just told you this.
Dan, that was my entire life. I was the president of the resource room, my friends used to say, because I had resource
so you
room.
Same here.
Resource room. Every test was read to me. I had to dictate my answers to someone to write them. So I never thought college was in the cards. But then, thank God, I was a blessed athlete, and Stony Brook University gave me a tutor for every class. So to me, my dad wasn't trying to be a dick. He was just like, be logical. Like, you're not the reading and writing type. You're not the classroom person.
He saw what was, I believe, what was attainable for you. And as any father, and you're a father as well, just wants to make sure their kids are guided in the right direction. That's what he knew at the time. And especially like, being a local electrician, it's a great career.
Fabulous.
Right? Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah. Especially that he's in Con Ed. I work not directly, I work with Con Ed subcontracts my
Safety.
Right. And we go about 300 feet below the surface. Like, it's incredible what we're able to do. So it's definitely a career where I'm like, your father saw like, okay, my son's going to be good.
No, he was right. And he knew that, but he was trying to set me up for it.
Right.
So jump back on. I graduated as a 2-time All-American. I end up having my second knee surgery, and I realized I wasn't going to the NFL. So now it's 2005. Top of the last real estate market. Economy was on fire, and I couldn't get a job anywhere. And I'm like this, what do I do in my life? And thank God a buddy of mine on the football team gave me this book that changed my life forever. And it's funny because it was the first book I ever, and I always tell people, but you guys are, Brian Karp Inside Players, I always tell everyone it's the first book I ever read, but I listened to it. And I listened to it.
I'm not here.
I listened to it before everyone had Audible. Like, you guys have to understand, I don't know how I became the old man in the room, but like, before we had all this fucking technology, I was walking around with this oversized tape recorder for the dyslexic and blind. And it's like they wanted to make me like a spectacle because they didn't give me like a tape recorder that would like blend in. It was like neon yellow. So I had to like walk around with it, but me,
wow.
I don't get embarrassed. So to me, I walked around with this tape recorder and I listened to the book that changed my life, which was Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
It's the book of books. It's the grail. It is the book that just sets the mind like, okay, wait a minute, I've been doing this wrong.
Yeah, well, I'm like, oh my God, they wrote it for me. So now 2005, I run out and always been a hustler.
2000. So hold on one second. 2005. I'm trying to like.
Market was bananas.
I'm trying to think about the book. I'm trying to think about when the book came out.
80s, I want to say.
Damn.
Maybe 90s. The book was old. The book wasn't like the buzz of the book was over. Like, his Oprah thing was already over.
I got it.
So it was. I read the book and I'm like, holy cow, this book was written for me. And I run out, and by this time it's like 2000, the end of 2006, 2007.
And how old were you? Like roughly?
19.
Okay.
And I run out and I buy a 2-family house. And at that time, my wife Jessica was just my girlfriend, so me and her living upstairs. And being from a construction background, I build this incredible apartment downstairs.
Oh, it sounds like before house hacking was even a term.
Yeah, before it was a word.
A word.
Before Bigger Pockets existed,
all
and
that,
before it was
yeah.
a word. I was living there. My mortgage payment was $1,900 a month, and I was renting the downstairs for $2,000. So I'm living there making $100 a month, and I had the aha moment. I said, "This is it. This is what I'm going to do in my life. I'm going to buy rental houses."
All right, so I just want to bring it back. How do we get the house? You said you ran out and bought it.
I've always been. So I'm Jewish. My bar mitzvah
saved all your money?
The theme. No, it's nothing to do with my religion. I'm just showing you like my mindset at 13 years old.
Okay.
So when you're Jewish, for everyone who doesn't know, you have a bar mitzvah when you become a man at your 13th birthday, and you choose a theme. So most of my buddies chose like sports, or my brother chose trains. My theme, Dan, money. At 13 years old. So
What a guy.
I was always interested in money and kind of like hyper obsessed with it. So I was always working and hustling, and I saved up enough money for a down payment at 20 years old.
How much was the down payment?
Back then, I think I put maybe $60,000 down.
But like you're 19 years old, but 60 grand.
But I was already working.
But I know. So I'm trying to say is like this is you're clearly on a completely different level, Brian. Like even the obsession at 13 years old, like, yeah, I want money.
But that was my dream. My dream was
Right.
so my dream was to buy a house, and I'm like, I'm going to buy a house, and we're going to rent out half the house, and that was the dream. And so everything I was doing from 19 to 20 to save up to buy the house was to buy the house and get in the house.
I want to tell you one quick story because it's just like this is how like I did it. Not even I did it. My dad did. I want to explain how my dad did it. My dad from Sicily came here in America, nothing in his pocket. When he was able to buy a house in Massapequa, bought a Cape, right, for I think like 1990. He bought it for like, I think like 160, 170, right? And when he bought it, he didn't know what the hell he was doing. He made the upstairs an apartment, and he used to go to the library and read how to redo the roof, everything. He didn't know shit, right? And now he tells me all this. Before it's like, there's dad, he knows everything. But he finally told me like all the inside of it. But it was a family of me, my mother, and two of my brothers, all on that first floor in the Cape. Me and my brothers shared one bedroom, bunk bed. I slept with my brother, and my oldest brother slept on top for 7 years. So my dad was in the game and knew the sacrifice. And then when he was finally able to, the mortgage was being paid for from the rent, he was able to finally buy another house in Babylon later on. And that's when he finally got rid of the upstairs apartment once he was able to get the next axle, But there's no, back then it's not YouTube, like, oh, you just burr and you jump into this.
No.
He's just like, you're just trying to figure it out. And
there was no YouTube when I
exactly.
And I love it. Your dad gets it. Like if you really research the wealthy families, it's always the real estate. Yeah. Right? It always goes back to real estate. 90% of the first generational millionaires were made through real estate. Yeah. So that's how it all happened. So we got into the first house, and now at this time, I wasn't a real estate agent, and my wife Jessica was pregnant with my oldest son Brody. So everyone in the world, my dad was still alive at this time, they said, okay, you gotta get a job because at that time I was just bartending and doing stuff.
So you never went into the trades?
Well, I did, so I'm going to get there. So I bought the first house just with no job. It was back in the day when you had the liar loans. So I bought the house with really no job. I was a bartender, but just working in the Hamptons, but making a ton of money.
Was it fun?
It was fun, but I wasn't focused on the fun. I was focused on the money. So to me, every night I was there, it was how much money can I make? I was already with my wife, Jessica. So to me, it was like, hey, it's holiday weekend. I know I can make 500 at Neptune's. I can make 700 at Foggy Goggle. I can make 300 at Beach Bar. And then I would take all the money and I would put it in my football helmet. And that's how I saved up the money for the down payment of my first house.
And there
was no drinking. Like I wasn't at the bars drinking. People would buy me shots. I would take the shot, throw it away, because I knew if I was drinking, I wasn't on my game, and I wouldn't be able to cover the most amount of people to make the most amount of money.
Just keep going. Just keep going. You're on a different frequency, like completely. Like it's.
But me and you chopped up slightly before we got into this.
Yeah.
It's only because whenever somebody in the real estate business who's a realtor meets me, their first question is, how do you sell 200 homes a year? How'd you sell 200 homes a year on your own? Now, how do you sell 250 homes with a team? Right. And that's their question. It shouldn't be the question. Dan, they shouldn't ask me that. You know what they should ask me? What the fuck did you do with all the money? They never do.
So what did you do with all the money?
I buried it in real estate. I've been burying in real estate for 20 years. The whole reason I have a real estate license is just to be an inside player. So that's what no one understands it.
Right. They won't. They won't.
Everyone is playing to have accolades. Everyone's playing to be the number one real estate agent. Guys, have it. Everyone's playing to be the top producer in their office. Guys, have it. Everyone's playing for the wrong reasons. I'm playing for generational wealth, financial freedom, right? And to build a legacy and to change my family forever. The Karp family will never be the same from the amount of wealth and real estate that I've accumulated in just a short amount of time.
Now, you're saying the Karp family, and obviously you're doing this because of legacy. Right? Legacy.
There's got to be one crazy person in the family.
It is. I'm the crazy person.
I'm changing the game.
My father was the crazy person. He got to a certain level, and now I got it. I'm the young version of him, but with the knowledge, more capital, more capabilities. And my dad has front row seats. Like, he's fucking loving it.
It's amazing.
He's loving it.
You're so lucky that he gets to watch you because your joy, your success is his joy.
Right. And he's freaking literally, like, he watches every podcast, he, like, everything. So what I want to go with your name and the legacy, because that's the same thing with me. It's first of all, when you mention wealth and everything, people are like, how do you get rich? How do you get rich? I said, fuck that. I want to get wealthy. And when somebody told me you get wealthy by owning assets, how do you own assets? You got to own real estate. Yeah. And that's it. Like, for me, I like buying homes. I like doing rental properties and all that stuff, but I'm not in love with it. Right. I just know that's one of the key pieces that I need to do to have the studio, if you see my desk set up, like, I get to work and then, like, oh, Brian, come on down, I want to shoot a podcast. That's what I always wanted.
No, but you hit the nail on the head. I don't want to be rich. I never want to be rich. I want to be wealthy.
Right.
There's rich, difference. Rich is get quick, it's a
quick, that's, when it says get rich quick, it's in the sentence. It's quick. It's like, it's done. No, I want something that's just like, I want to take off for a month. And I do. Go to Italy for a month. I'm fine. Right. Like, and I'm very lucky I get to do that. But I wanted to go back, really stick on your name real quick, because you've been mentioning it a lot. Why? Why do you feel that, obviously you're the crazy one in your family, and I love it, but the legacy of your name, do you feel that there was shortcomings or something that you felt like the Karp family's name has got to get up to here, or that's just you saying, I'm at this level and the name's coming, that's my name and I got to carry it?
No, I just feel like, why not me? I say it to myself all the time.
Best line.
But it's so true. And I've said it my whole life. Like, I said to my wife, Jessica, when she first met me, I'm like, why can't we have so many rentals that we just live off the passive income? I said, why can't I build the biggest real estate business in Long Island that will print money so I could feed my addiction of buying real estate? And when we started my syndication with my partner 2 years ago, I said, why not us? And it's always, why not?
That's the best line. I've been asking that line pretty frequently too. It's like, when I got to the next level was like, before that I was like, why not me? Like, why? Like, it's just, I feel like that's why you asked me, can help my show out, helping my show out. I want to help my audience out and show that your value behind it. You just asked the question I want everybody to hear, and I'm going to cut this video up because I want that line to be like, why not me? Yeah. And it's possible, and it's just, but it's also discipline, folk. It's all the stuff you're just ripping right through, and with your story, I'm going to really back a little bit. So, you buy the first house, you figured it out. This is the game plan. How do we start swinging into the next? So
then what happened from there is Jessica was pregnant with Brody, and everyone's like, you got to get a job with benefits and retirement. So I listened to what everyone said, and I went into the union. And I still pay my union dues.
You have a book?
Yeah, I have a book. I still pay it. Dan, I still have my tools in my garage. I keep them in my garage just in case I have to go back. So I did 9 years as a union construction worker. So what I used to do is I used to wake up at 4 a.m. I would drive into Manhattan. I was local 12, and I would spit insulation on duct wrap, and I would spit insulation on the walls. And then I would leave around 1 o'clock, and I would hustle real estate till 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And I did that for 9 years when I built the real estate business. So I went from selling 3 houses to 10 houses to 20, and I was selling about 50 homes a year as a full-time insulator.
What year did you sell the first house?
I got my real estate license 2008.
Okay.
Bought my first rental. Bought my first house we lived in 07. First, got my real estate license just to be an inside player. Never thought I would sell houses.
Right.
Not even a plan.
And me as an investor, people go up to me and it's like, oh, you got a real estate license? I'm like, no. And the only reason I would get my real estate license, which
access to the data.
That's it. But at this, you know where it is now, because back then it was different. But now you can just go on any type of software and you can figure it all out. But that was the only reason why you, like, if you wanted, it's like insider information. You'll get the house before it hits market, and you're able to, hey, listen, I'll buy from you right now, cash.
Exactly, 100%. So then I was selling about 50 homes a year. Being a realtor, and being a full-time insulator. My wife Jessica said, "Why are you're making a few $100,000 a year as a realtor? Why are you driving to Manhattan and being an insulator?" And I was so afraid to leave the benefits.
Ooh.
I was so afraid to leave the paycheck, everything.
Security blanket.
Yeah. And then she's like, "You're crazy, and you should just go all in." And I went all in, and then I went from 100 to 150 to 200. But the big difference is, Dan, I'm personally, before I started the Brian Karp team, I was a single realtor, and I had a year that I did over 200 transactions
By yourself.
by myself. And
And in the union.
no, at that time I was retired from the union. But
Got it.
every dollar I was driving a 2010 Camry, and we were living in a house in Ronkonkoma, and every dollar I made, I buried into real estate. That year I bought 3 houses cash.
Yeah.
Right. So the difference with me is just the discipline to the plan. Like everyone else who starts to make money, they start upgrading their lifestyle.
Right.
What all I was doing was selling houses and burying in real estate, and burying in real estate, and burying in real estate.
Right now, my current home in Massapequa, all right, which I bought next to my parents. I bought the house next to my parents. And I actually bought the house got the house behind my parents for my brother. I'm just pointing in that direction. I was like, no. But anyway, but when I bought that house, I was 2016, didn't even set foot in it, rented it right out.
Yep.
Because that's what my father said, you could live in it. It was just me and at the time, my girlfriend. She's my wife now, but it's like, what the fuck am I going to do in a house by myself? Yeah. So we saved up, still lived with my parents, saved up there. But now to this very day, this very moment, I'm finally upgrading my life this past year. My kitchen in my current house, and I have 2 kids, and the floor has been done by me and my wife, and the kitchen's been repainted. It's a 70s kitchen. The kitchen's from the 70s, and it was brown. We took it all down, degreased it, we painted it. We did most of the stuff ourselves, me and my wife. And now finally, after being on my own, I say on my own because my father owns a bunch of real estate, but being on my own solo buying properties, 6-7 years, I bought the truck, I bought this, I'm redoing the bathroom now. There's actually a house around the block. I just knocked on the door and I got it locked up. And now I'm looking at that house, I'm like, I think I do the dream house now. I think I chopped it and do the door. But I have the same mindset as you. People are like, how do you keep doing this? I'm like, well, look at my lifestyle. I drive a Nissan Rogue, $200 a month. We save every single dollar, and I was able to push it. And then my father was able to help me with some more capital. But at the same time, people was like, how do you keep doing it? I keep doing it. It's because I live way below my means.
And you have to do it what no one understands is you have to do it in the beginning.
Not later.
But today we have so much passive income coming in, we could do whatever we want. Like my wife turned 40 a few years ago. I took her entire family, my entire family, all her friends, everyone. I flew them to Miami. I paid for the entire weekend. Dan, that was half the passive income I make in a month. So that's what no one understands is you have to build the vehicle that will spit rain or shine. And that's the difference.
How was that feeling? Being able to do that?
Oh, it's my pleasure. As I come as a servant for my clients when I'm here to trying to listen, I became financially free at 38. I'm 42 and I'm still playing. I'm playing because I love the game and I love serving people, right? I don't have to be here anymore. I haven't had to be here for years. Right. I'm still here because I'm obsessed with the game. It's my oxygen. It's my addiction. And I still have so much more to give.
So I told you both my parents are from Italy. So Sicily, I've been going there since I was 6. And that was another thing. We never took the family vacations. If we were going to go somewhere, we went to Italy for 2 months because the plane ticket was $1,200, and then we were seeing family. That's what it was. And then same thing in Italy. We have real estate and rental properties there, believe it or not. It's wild. So, and some reason Italians. Oh, by the way, Italians and Jews, we love each other. By the way, this is we're
Italians are good stewards of real estate.
So, what I'm trying to say is that 2 years, last September, 2 Septembers ago, we had the opportunity. We would go to Italy all the time, me and my wife, and we brought our kids. And then my brother brought his 2 kids, and my other brother brought his kids. And my dad's there. He set everything up, all the Airbnbs, the cars, all this. And I tried to go to my dad and give him money. He's like, no. Every day. And we were there for 3 weeks. Yeah. And he's flipping the bill. And it's just I had to talk to one of my close friends about it that's on a very personal level about all this stuff. And he had to tell me, he's like, Dan, your dad's been dying to do this.
Yeah.
He's been fucking dying to do it. He's at the because my dad he still works as a safety manager because he's just got nothing better to do.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to work. He's got all the passive income. He can do whatever he wants, but he just does it because it's the same thing as you. But he wanted that ability to just say, everybody come to Italy. I don't want you to worry about this.
Yep.
Just
Well, that's how I show my love to my
Right.
friends and family. My wife, again, we had something in the city, and I took to a really extravagant dinner, a Michelin star restaurant, and I'm like, guys, I got it. And everyone's like,
Yeah.
no. I'm like, but it's my pleasure. This is the reason I built this. I built this mechanism. I built the rental portfolio. I built the Carp family, New York portfolio for that reason, and that's what people miss about it. So. The biggest thing I think everyone needs to understand is with real estate, your life doesn't change for the first 10 years. And really,
Right.
in real estate, when you're a buy and hold real estate collector like me, your life doesn't change for 2 decades, right? We've been buying real estate and holding real estate for 2 decades. It's the only reason today we have this incredible life because we've been burying money for 20 years in real estate.
It's a long-term game. So like right now for me, solo I'm going on year 7. I'm not making crazy money, but I am making a cash flow to, that's filling up the bank. That's going to swing into the next house. And I love how you said this thing where, you're able to do this for the Carp family. I think you're saying that if correct me if I'm wrong, you're not just your kids and your wife. You're talking about
I'm playing for my kids' kids that aren't even alive.
Right.
I'm playing for my grandkids that are not even alive. My kids are 12 and 13.
I didn't even think that far, but I love your.
Well, I always say Carp family because the goal for the Carp family is
the legacy.
To have a family office. We're going to start a family office, and my kids are just going to manage the wealth that I created.
And I see what you're doing, teacher. I don't want to go off on where I was going on from this, where my thought was, because it's good. It's so. I watched my father do this. Bought I think he had 1 at the time or 2 rental properties at the time, and it was 2000, like 1 or 2. 9/11 happened. He was labor, no work. He also had 2 surgeries on both of his hands. He was out for pretty much like almost a year and a half, 2 years. And you probably can relate to that. It's like my father being home, absolutely not. But seeing what's sitting on a couch is like, that don't register. Yeah. So I remember as a kid, I had to be like, at the time I was like 12, 13 years old, I go up to my dad, I'm like this was like month 3, 4, I'm like, are we okay? Yeah. And he's like, yeah, we're fine. We're okay. We lived so frugally. Like we ate in the basement. We ate pasta 4 or 5 nights a year. And we only have meat like on Saturday, Fridays and Saturdays. That's how conservative my father was. It was crazy. He would go to work and he would have a sandwich in a tin foil.
And bring tinfoil back home. And listen, your dad comes from a different generation to us.
Right.
You can't save yourself to wealth. That's what it is, right? You have to be able to create the income. You're
gonna love what I'm gonna say because I have some insider knowledge a little bit about you and like the whole thing with my father. But I want to finish up where I was going at with all this. So I watched my father do that, and I said, "Are we okay?" He's like, "Yeah, we're fine." And the only reason we're fine is because he had the investment properties. Yeah. And yes, he was on, only so much worker comp, all that was in effect. But he's like, he said that, but at the same time, we were still living very conservatively. It wasn't like, oh, we have it made. Yep. It was never that moment. And watching my father do all that, I just kept watching. And then the 2 years ago, watching it do it for his whole family. So for me, when I started this venture, it was first everything I wanted to do in life was happening. I wanted to do it. And every day woke up, gotta do it every day. And when I got to the point, getting the first property, getting the second property, I got to the point now where I am, I'm just like, I talk to my wife, I'm like, I hate to say it this way, but this is the reality of it. And I want to say it clear. It's like, if I die today, my kids and my wife are perfectly fine. Yeah. And that was the best feeling in my heart, was just like, holy shit, I did the thing, the male, the father, my duties. Now, I think you can relate this. Now I have leveled up where I'm not thinking about just my direct 2 kids and my wife. I'm thinking about my whole family. Right. I want to go, hey, you want to go to Disney? You want to go on a Disney cruise? And how expensive that is? He's like, yeah, we all want to go, but money, like, it's on me. Right. I just want to say those fucking words.
Right. And to me, it's how I show my love. And to me, I never wanted to have to think about money. Right. I don't want to have to think about money. I want to be able to pick up the check. I want to be able to be generous. I want to be able to give. We're huge givers. Right. I tithe. Every dollar I make, I give money away on every dollar I make. Nothing to do with religious. Just I believe that in abundance. And I believe the more you give, the more you receive. So it's from someone who grew up.
Spoiler alert. That's like spoiler alert. If you help and give more, what your knowledge, money, whatever it is, your value,
Yeah.
it comes back. It's like sometimes like I lost X amount of money. I'm like, oh, and then whatever situation and blah, blah, blah. But I'm just like, wait a minute. I've been doing the right thing. I've been doing the good thing. I keep doing what I'm doing. That's just gonna come. And it comes back not double. It comes back like triple.
It does.
It's just like, brrr, I'm like, and it comes out of nowhere. I'm just like, holy shit.
Yeah. The hardest thing I ever did was starting to really give. And then once I started giving, I'm like, oh my God, like I felt the abundance of it.
Why do you say that? Do you feel like in the beginning you're holding on to dear life?
Yeah, well, growing up, growing
Right.
up as blue collar working class people, I was always like, oh my God, if I give away $1, it's one less dollar than I have. Right. Instead of now where I'm like, if I give away money, first off, it's really not my money. I'm just a steward of the money. Right. And then if I give the money away, I watch how much comes in. Back to the thing, it's my pleasure to like help as many people as possible.
Yeah. I want to get into this segment. I mean, actually, no, hold on. I wanted to ask you like where you are. Yeah, might as well. Where are you today, Brian? Like, so where is the Karp family today, and what's happening in your world? I know you gave me some information on what's going on. I'll let you talk about it.
Sure. Well, so my Tennessee stuff.
Correct. Yeah.
So what basically happened was I was been surrounded by family and friend for so many years, and they watched the Karp family become very, very wealthy through real estate. Not from selling houses, obviously blessed having an incredible business that you can only imagine, but by investing in real estate. And I had so many people over the last few years reach out to me and say, Bri, I want to buy a rental. Dan, you get it, right? I want to buy a rental. And I would give them one of the Brian Karp team agents. I would send them all of the multifamilies that I liked, and they would not buy anything.
Right.
And then I would see them back at a holiday or Christmas or, at the gym. And I would say, what happened? And they said, well, Bri, I only have, in Long Island, I only have $100,000. It really doesn't get me in the game, which they're right. Brian, I'm afraid. Brian, I don't have time to deal with tenants, toilets, or termites. So I said, okay, well, there's a real problem here, and there's a real need for here. And I have a business partner, Anthony, who is a master of numbers.
Anthony, was he from the start?
He's been a business partner. We've done some real estate ventures together, just
Okay.
some land divisions, subdivisions, stuff like that.
Got it. And that's it's that little mini show that you got going on. I see sometimes.
It's a Brick to Brick podcast.
Got it.
And we really just dive into our multifamily real estate.
Got it.
So about 2 years ago, we decided that we were going to start syndicating real estate and buying institutional assets. And what we basically came up with is we built a vehicle where now my friends, my family, my inner circle can take their capital and put it next to my capital. And what they could do is they could start building passive income streams or large hits of money when we exit properties. And they could feel comfortable because their money's sitting right next to my money. And it's allowed everyone to become an inside player. Like, Dan, you're an inside player in real estate, but it's taken you almost a decade to become it.
Right.
The average person who either is a high net worth individual or a business owner or somebody who's a W-2 employee, they do not have the vehicle of real estate. So we wanted to open it up to everybody. And for about 2 years ago, we started just like I started my real estate business, banging doors. We flew to Tennessee. We literally researched the brokers who were selling 30 to 50 unit apartment complexes that were C-class properties. For people who don't know, they rate apartment complexes. A would be a Fairfields, B would be mid-level, C would be a little distressed, and D could be potentially something war zone. So we researched the brokers who were the top brokers in this area of Tennessee.
How do you research something like that?
Through CoStar, you could pull who has the transactions.
So you're monitoring all the data, right?
The data.
Right.
But let's take it back a step. How do we choose Tennessee? So what we did is Van Line, if anyone's familiar with Van Line is the moving company broker. And what they do is when someone's moving out of state, right? Not in Long Island, but someone's moving out of state.
Right.
Van Line's generally the one that does the over-the-road.
You see it. It's not like the massive.
Yeah. So what they do is they publish their data. And what we did is
Really?
we followed their data to see where all of the trends of people that we're moving to. And Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia were some of the top spots. I was also looking for an area that was a landlord-friendly area, which Tennessee is. New York isn't.
Oh, we know that.
I also wanted to find a spot that had no state income tax, which Tennessee has no state income tax. So there was all of these perfect. I also wanted to find something that wasn't.
You're finding the golden goose. You're finding the.
I also wanted something that wasn't coastal. I didn't want to. I wanted to find something where we wouldn't have to worry about the floods and the storms.
Wow,
that
that's
Florida
a lot of
has.
check boxes, man.
So there was a lot of check boxes, and we kind of landed ourselves into Tennessee.
Wow.
And boots on the ground 2 years ago, like. Everyone's so into technology and social media, and I love it, and I'm on it. Trust me, I'm on it. But you cannot build a personal relationship with someone unless you go to their office and meet them in person. So we got on a plane. I packed 2 things of luggage, and they weren't filled with clothes, Dan. They were filled with bagels. And I went to every top broker's office.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just like out of everything that was going to come out of your mouth, I was like, he's got to come out with contracts. He's gonna have his whole portfolio to prove that what he's got. He's got to build this. He's got to show what his worth. No, I'm bringing bagels.
Bringing bagels.
How Long Island and Jewish of you in one thing.
Again, you got to be memorable and you got to get the attention. And I went. We handpicked about 10 brokers. We emailed them. We called them. We texted them. We said we're coming from New York. We went to their offices and we built personal relationships.
I had the dinner last night at the CEO event, and I brought my guest was Pocket Pete, and Pocket Pete just explained exactly how he built his whole entire business. And he drops the line and he goes, cannolis. Mm-hmm. Every time I would go to see somebody, I had a box of cannolis. And I was showing, hey, we're going to talk about the house. We're going to talk about whatever it is, the transaction, this and that. But this is my showing you, this is my signature. But you bringing something that's authentic from Long Island to there to show, hey, I'm not just a guy doing business. I mean, like, this is something part of me and who I am. Long Island, our bagels are... They are what they are. They're best, of course. And you to showcase that and bring that over there saying like, no, I mean, I really do mean business here. It's just like, that is so, I got to back up on the bagel story. Like, how did you know about what made you say
we wanted something that was very New York, but I think, Dan, it goes back to humbling yourself. So I feel very lucky and blessed from what I've created in real estate.
Right.
But I said now that, because I was 40 years old, and I said, okay, I'm going to play real estate for at least another decade or 2. I need to reinvent myself. And I want to reinvent myself as a syndicator. And I want to reinvent myself as an operator of larger multifamily real estate. So we said we weren't going to buy them in New York because it's taken me 20 years to build the portfolio that I have today.
Very difficult.
And I could and I'm an inside player, and it's still hard to get the great deals.
Also, just for you and your timeline is like, we have property, like we have a few properties in Copiague, and like the houses we bought in Copiague were $200,000, but that was 2008, 2009. Now they're worth $600,000, $700,000. But the same premise as you you were in the game for quite some time and were able to pick up this.
And I was buying 2 families in Ronkonkoma for $180. They're worth $880 today.
So let me ask you a question, because I had some insider information about you, and if it's accurate, I want to make sure it's accurate. When you were buying these houses, you were buying them straight up, right?
Yeah, so I learned a lot. I was a Dave Ramsey guy, and my entire portfolio today, I only have leverage on 3 properties, and those are only properties that I bought in the last year. So I didn't believe in leverage. I don't want to say I was dumb. I didn't think I understood it properly. Right. Now I understand it with my syndication and my Tennessee funds that I'm running today. I understand how it magnifies the return, like, to another level.
Right.
But you guys have to understand that I was a solo artist for such a long time, right, and I was selling hundreds and hundreds of homes on my own. So I was just cutting checks for them. So I didn't know what to do with the money. It was, and I felt like an NFL athlete. Like, oh my God, I'm making millions of dollars a year, right? Everyone, if you want to, you could make millions of dollars a year in selling houses, right? Not owning brokerages, selling houses. And I was like, holy shit, this is going to end tomorrow. Or if this ends, I want to make sure the Carr family never has to think about money again. So I was just cutting checks. There was years that I told you, a year I bought 2 houses, a year I bought 3 houses, just cutting checks for them.
The reason I wanted to bring that part up, because it's very good how you said you only have 3 houses here in Long Island that are leveraged?
Only 3 houses, yeah. And there were houses that I bought over.
Your portfolio is like around 200? Like
No. Here in Long Island, we have 55 units. It's worth about $20 million. It's 23 properties.
It's quite remarkable that you're only using 3 properties. So the reason I picked that part of your story about, because I have a good, like, I wanted.
We have 200 in Tennessee. That might be where you got that from.
No. Well, maybe. Oh, okay. The number 200. That's probably where I got that. The units. What I was wanting to say was, when my dad bought that house in Babylon, when I told you we were house hacking, we were living in the house like that, we bought the house straight up.
Yeah.
And the houses in Copeg, straight up. And my dad was a local 79 laborer and then became a safety guy and he was able to make a little bit more money. But in other words, what I'm trying to tell you right now is that his method was the 1% rule.
Yeah.
Save as much money you possibly can and buy the house straight up. And if it makes the 1%, the rent, how much it is, that's what he knew. And somebody told him that at some event, it wasn't as big now with all the networking events, but that's where he gained his knowledge. I come into the play. And I'm watching Bigger Pockets, and my dad's been doing real estate for some time, and I came to my dad. I'm like, this is what we got to do. And he's like, what are you talking about? We buy this house straight up for cash. I'm like, no. Buy this house straight up for cash, and then we're going to pull out, we're going to refinance. I mean, we're going to flip, we're going to remodel it, bring up the value. He's listening. He's like, but my dad's an old school Italian. We just got to make this thing look good, like, just functional. Just make sure the windows work, just get it to where it's going to work. And it's just the way he thought about it.
No, it's the way your dad's right. That's what I did because I didn't know any better.
Right.
Because remember, to sell hundreds of homes a year on your own, you have to master the skill. So all I was at that time was a salesman. And that's all I did 24/7, 365. I had the foresight that I was making millions of dollars a year. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do with the money? Well, I'm not going to upgrade our lifestyle. I'm not buying fancy cars or watches. I'm going to take the money and just bury it in real estate.
You ready? I'm sorry. I have to cut you off because this is such a freaking good story. So I have to still convince my dad. My dad's 67. And it's so hard for him to, if it's not going, like I said, going to the Italy trip, like no problem, boom, boom.
Family, yeah.
But for himself, he won't fucking do it. So there was this thing, he's been driving around in a 2001 Honda CR-V that has 180,000 miles on it, all right? The guy can afford whatever he wants. The guy has never, ever in his life owned a new car for himself. He bought a new car for my mom. He helped me buy my new car. Everybody else bought him. We have this white work van that we used to load up with garbage. Yeah. We did all the work, everything. Anyway, what I'm getting at with this, so I finally convinced him, like, for the love of God, because the car kept breaking down. I'm like, for the love of God, just please buy a new car. And he found a great deal. He bought another CR-V, brand new, Brian, brand new. He gets it. Sticks it right in the driveway, and he fixed the old CR-V. He kept driving the old CR-V, but like 2-3 weeks ago, I got a phone call from him. He goes, can you pick me up in Queens? I'm like, why? What happened? He's like, I rear-ended somebody. The car's done. I'm like, finally? Yeah. It's done? Yeah. And now I finally see him.
Driving the new one. Very similar. You mean your dad should hang out?
Oh no,
it's
hold on. And I'm sorry to cut you off last time. Doing the whole Tennessee thing, I was actually going to get my father on a Zoom call because I wanted this, because I told him everything about the investment, and he's very, very interested. By the way, so yeah, no, you're going to meet him because
I'd love to, but he's like my kind of guy. So Jessica, my wife, for my 40th birthday, is like, Bri, like, you need to treat yourself. I was driving a 2010 Camry that had 250,000 miles on it. So finally, she convinces me, and I go out and buy this ridiculous, 2024 Cadillac Escalade. We write a check for it, right? It's the only way if you're going to buy it. And we bought it with passive income, and next month that money's back again, right? So it's not a big deal. And it sat in my driveway, Dan, for months. And I was like, I don't even feel like this, like,
identity.
It wasn't me. I'm like, I felt more comfortable in my face car that I just drove around in. And the truck's beautiful, but to me, like, big sums of money, I want to put it into real estate so it could pay me monthly. Like, that's why I'm so obsessed with real estate. I love the monthly income, right? Like, hand someone $1 million, it doesn't change their life forever. Give someone a stream of income, that's generational. Like, that's what I play for, streams of income.
No, absolutely. I witnessed it. I watched the checks come in like every single month, the freaking first of the month. Or my dad's like, go out to the houses in Copeg and collect the rent. And I mean, the guys are just handing me envelopes, and they're just like, I open it, and I'm just like, oh wow, there's freaking $3,000 right there. Like, but I want to make something clear, because I know you keep saying passive income. I make this joke.
It's not passive.
Thank you. All right.
No,
just,
you-
no, just please.
no, you're the fucking man. You get it. It's
Because
not-
I got the phone call a couple of months ago. The guy's like, my father called me. He's like, oh, one of the houses have a little smoke in it. I'm like, and like, this is like, we're up to 10 properties now. And it's just like, why the hell don't I have a property manager? But anyway, it's me. I'm going to go run out there. And then I go there. It's the microwave. I'm sitting there breaking down the drywall, pulling the microwave out. I didn't know it was the microwave until I pulled everything out and I see the electrical wire. And
Dude, you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
So my wife is my property manager. She
Good.
handles. Well, no, it's not good. It's not good because her stress makes me stress. So for this Tennessee thing has been the greatest thing for me because it's allowed me to understand leverage a lot better.
Right.
But it's also allowed me to get my hands off of it so much. Where, as you said, it's not really passive income because Jessica was managing at one point. She was managing like 45 tenants, right? Because most of my properties are 4 families, 5 families.
man.
So. What I did is a year ago, I hired a property manager here in New York, and we're starting to put a lot of the portfolio over to them. So it becomes more passive, but it's still not at the level of my Tennessee. The Tennessee today, we're closing in about a month on our 200th unit. So we'll have 4 separate single asset syndications, and my investors, who are my limited partners, they are all 100% passive. So what happens is they get an email once a month just of an update what's going on. Right. And once our properties get restabilized, because we're value add guys, so we go in, just what I did in New York. We buy stuff that is below market rents. We invest capital. We clean up operations. And then once they start receiving their dividends quarterly, it's 100% passive.
Right.
If I was to go back in time, Dan, and I was blessed with all of this wealth, I would actually find a syndicator and I would put all my money with them. Because it's really only passive when it's in someone else's hands.
There's a whole backstory on me you don't know about, and I really haven't ever talked about it on this podcast. So it's the first time I'm ever going to talk about it because, I don't know. I always just kept it within our family. So me, my father, and a few of our family members, but originally, again, going back to my father, we own about I want to say own, because now they're all shares, but we own about 20 to 25 Planet Fitnesses out in California.
Okay.
And this started back in 2010 when this guy Dexter, he approached my father because genuine guy was looking for investors, and this was like we didn't know if this thing didn't know it was going to work, but
it's before anyone knew Planet Fitness.
It was people knew about it, but there was no. So this was the market.
No TV ads.
There was nothing in California of Planet Fitness.
Yep.
So he figured out. He was successful, this guy, with Baskin Robbins and Dunkin' Donuts, and I believe that's the story. And then he got some people that did the Planet Fitness franchise. So then he said, well, he looked at California's market. There's nothing. $10 down, $10 a month, right? And what that became, they went to my father, and I remember my father coming up to me and asking me at work, because he was training me to be a safety professional at the time. He goes, what do you think of Planet Fitness? I'm like, I don't know, it's a gym. He's like, no, what do you think? Like, my father he doesn't know.
Your dad's a fucking genius.
No, but he's not. I don't want to say he's not. It's like we were talking about you give, you get back. And my father has done so much for all of us. Like, the guy I remember every day coming home every day when I was 10, 11 years old, my whole childhood, almost every day, just dust from top to bottom, from demo, labor, all that, every day. And the only thing that man wanted to do was buy real estate and just keep taking care of the family and make sure they were good.
Because he knew that real estate will take care of the family when he's not here. That's what he realized.
Of course. And with the Planet Fitness, it was like, oh my God, am I really going to invest this amount of money into it? And he did. He was one of the first investors. And obviously, if you're the first investor, you get seniority of, now everybody want to get a part of it. And that thing freaking went to the one gym, the next 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 gym. And it just snowballed in this. Yeah.
Love hearing when people win.
Yeah. So, like, my father's been for the lifetime, not lifetime, ever since that, we haven't found anything close to that. That was just like the unicorn, the thing. And now everybody wants to buy that. Like, well, and let me say this: not every gym did great. We lost money on certain gyms. We didn't get certain returns, just like any type of investment. Because people are like, oh, you make
no
it.
Guarantees. No
but
guarantees.
that check and what I saw after the aftermath of that was the only thing I ever saw in my life that was passive income.
Yeah, and that's what we built, and that's what we're providing for our partners. right? We're building a true passive vehicle for them to
Right.
become. We've spent the last few years. First off, I feel like I spent the last 20 years learning everything about value add real estate investing and multifamily properties. And we did it in the hardest market ever, New York. And now we've taken it to Tennessee, but at a much larger scale. We're buying we bought one in late December. It was a 64 unit portfolio.
So I really want to break down this whole entire thing you're doing. So like, as you're explaining how you found the market, you found the sweet spot. Now you're looking at it. So how does it work on, let's say, are you looking for investors, or this is kind of this exclusive?
We are. We're always looking for investors.
So can you walk me like a little step by step of like how you would, onboard or get somebody to invest with you and stuff?
Sure. Right. So our investors, our minimum is $100,000 for an investor.
Now, with that being said, do they have to? So like even Planet Fitness, and when we got new investors, you had to at least. You yourself, your equity, like what's on paper, had to be at least $1 million.
Yeah. So the nice thing about it, so there's two different types of syndications. There's
Okay.
a 501c, 501c or a 501b.
Right.
Where we are not. So I could only have people in my fund that have known me in some capacity before I reached out to them. So someone like you, we've known each other prior. Right. So somebody who invests in my fund today couldn't be someone that sees me on a podcast. Now in the future,
I
in the future, once my partner Anthony and myself open up a 501b, then we're able to market through channels such as like that.
Right.
So for someone, it's someone who they don't have to be a friend of mine, but they had to have been some type of introduction or acquaintance to me. In some capacity.
Now, do you do like
or introduced to me?
Right.
It can't be someone couldn't have found me on a podcast and never met me ever before, never knew who I was,
and
then start to invest.
Right.
Because right now we're only doing 501cs.
Right. And then what did you say in the beginning of this? There's not, you can put whatever phone device and whatever you got in front of you, there's nothing but, like you came to my studio today, which I'm like, wow, I got Brian Cobb come to my studio. But there's nothing like shaking a person's hand, and that's how you're going to build a network.
Right, and knowing it. People can be introduced to me. It's
Right.
fine. It's just someone can't just, guys, if you're in Texas, you never met Brian Karp and you want to invest, right now we can't take you.
Right.
If you know who I am, met me, introduced to me, heard of me, know someone who knows me and introduced, totally fine.
Right.
It's just the way it is. So the way it works is we have people who, we put together something called a pitch deck. And basically what that does is it goes through the projections of the property and the returns that we're going to be giving on the property.
Obviously, it's projections. It's not guaranteed.
Exactly. They're not guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed, right? Only death and taxes here. Those are the only things guaranteed. So basically what happens is
famous line.
We like to have people who are verbally committed for an amount that they want to invest. And then what we do is we are always shaking the trees, burning up the phones. I was just in Tennessee last week for 3 days, meeting with our brokers, meeting with our property managers, trying to find the next deal.
You're there.
Oh, we're there. Absolutely.
No, what I'm saying is like you're physically there.
It's the only way to get things done.
Right.
So I was there for 72 hours. I was touring all of the properties that we currently own.
Right.
And then I'm also reviewing another property that we just won the contract on.
Nice.
Which is very exciting. So what we do is we have a group of investors that invested in all of our deals. This will be our fourth fund that we put together. Mm-hmm. So we always invite our previous partners to roll into the next one if they're interested. And we're always looking for introductions to people who are looking to invest in multifamily real estate. Right. And what we do is if we don't have room for them at the current moment, we like to stay in touch with them. We like to build a relationship with them and kind of make them understand what we buy. What we do is we buy C-class multifamily properties and we turn them into B-class properties.
And you were saying previously, like looking through the data and looking.
Yeah, so we're all data driven. The biggest thing we buy is right now we're only buying in areas that do not have any new construction starts.
Why is that?
Because we don't want to have competition. So what we do is we buy garbage properties and we invest capital and we fix the properties up and we push up the rents and we end up stabilizing the property.
Are you involved with construction too, or just that's a whole nother?
We are doing, so either our PM is doing the construction or we bring in outside contractors. So I'll tell you some of the examples. First property we bought about 2 years ago, Dan, was a 51 unit apartment complex, 7 units. The average in-place rents at that time were about $500. Okay. Mm-hmm. Today, the average in-place rents are closer to $750. So what did we do? We've over the last 18, we've owned it about 15 months. Over the last 15 months, we've renovated 70% of the units. So every time a tenant left, we pushed them out. We renovated it. We've been on average renovating units for around $8,800. And we took all the one bedrooms to $750, two bedrooms to $850, three bedrooms to $950.
Wow.
So that's and now there's an old office that was used as like a leasing office. We've gutted it and we're turning that into 2 more units. So we're turning a 50 unit into a 52 unit and adding 2 more one bedrooms. And we'll be paying out dividends to our investors on that. When we don't pay dividends for the first 18 to 24 months, the reason we don't do that is because we take all of the cash flow and we reinvest it into the property.
The reason I'm laughing is because I'm laughing because it's just like there's a whole system in place. Because I remember we got certain people into the Planet Fitnesses and they're like, "Where's my money?"
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't work that way.
No.
Whereas we got to see the gym has to perform a certain.
It takes time to get it up and running.
And there's certain gyms that never hit the mark,
Yep.
and we never got a return back. We got nothing. And people are like, "Where's?" Because they heard so nice about that first gym, and it worked so great. And I'm not taking away from what you're saying. I'm just saying, but you have this period saying you're not going to get dividends. No,
we always like to we always like to under promise and over deliver.
100%.
So we tell everyone 18 to 24 months. For my first asset that is going to come to our 15-month, we'll pay dividends in Q2.
Got it.
So that's one asset. Then we have a second asset in Dixon, which is a 44 unit, and that one's really exciting. We've owned that for about 6 months, and we purchased it for $65,000 per unit. So we paid $2.75 million.
Do you have to buy them per unit or the whole thing?
We buy the whole thing, but my head always we
That's,
always look at the
that's how
unit.
your math works.
Yeah, how my math.
How does
works.
your dyslexia?
Some numbers
something
work for
clicks.
me. Some numbers work for me. So for the second asset that we did,
Right.
We purchased it in Dixon, Tennessee, which is a market of about 60,000 people. It was this one has 2 different value add components. So component number 1 was 44 units below market rents. That's what we need. We need something that has below market rents. So we purchased this 44 unit. We have renovated 18 units. We've put about $500,000 into it. We just did a refinance about 2 weeks ago, and it reappraised for $4.2 million. We pulled out $900,000 worth of equity. Now, we tell all our investors we don't pay dividends for 18 to 24 months.
Right.
Now we're taking that 900.
I hope I hear the right answer right here. I don't want the dividends. I want to hear where this money goes right now.
We're taking that 900, and there are 2 buildings that had basements that are at grade, and we're turning those 2 buildings and we're adding 12 more units, and we're going to turn the 44 to a 56, and they appraised my units for $95,000. If I go back very conservatively, 56 units times 95 will be a $5.3 million appraisal. We'll do another refinance, pull out all the capital, and return our investors' money.
How the fuck can't you not love that?
It's what I've been.
I heard the money, the amount of money. I'm just like, don't tell me you're paying the people back. Don't pay them back. Here's the next thing. Here's what's going to keep pushing to the next level.
Right. But we always say those refinances don't always happen. We have deals that will potentially not return all of our clients' capital for 4 to 6 years, but we'll pay dividends after 2 years.
Right.
And then it's just more of a steady cash flow play. And the reason we like this market is we're able to buy these bigger assets. And the nice thing is, Dan, the average person, they don't have passive income.
Right.
And with these, all of our projects so far have been underwritten at a 17% IRR. So that means that it's not a 17% return on your money; it's a compounded 17%. That's what makes it so powerful.
Right.
So if someone invested $100,000, year 2, technically they have 117 in the fund.
Doing this as well, does anybody use a self-directed RA?
We're not set up to handle self-directed.
All right, I was just curious about that.
Yeah, no, great question. We will be one day. We're still in our infancy stages, 2 years into it. So we're still building the processes and the systems with it.
Well, hold on, Brian. Because we're about hitting that hour, but I do want to have a little bit of fun with you. All right?
Please do.
All right. We got to do some rapid fire questions with you, sir.
Let's roll.
All right. So these are just going to be questions, and then we're going to go into the next part. All right. Just answer as fast as you can. Favorite movie?
Shawshank Redemption.
Favorite book?
Rich Dad Poor Dad. And The Secret.
A little zinger right there. Favorite store to shop in?
Express.
Favorite color?
Green. Easy.
Favorite ice cream?
Not a big ice cream guy, but cherry vanilla.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
What if I had one superpower, or do I have one superpower?
No. If you can have one, what would it be? Teleportation, strength?
I'm gonna just go with something I already have, which is positivity. I don't need any superpowers. I feel
Really?
like
You wouldn't take teleport? You can just go from here to Tennessee?
that would be huge, yeah.
Okay.
But I know that's not possible.
All right. You eat burgers and fries, right?
I do, yeah.
Do you eat the burger first or the french fries first? Or do you eat...
A burger. I don't really eat many carbs.
This is like an entrepreneur answer. Like they always axe the fries for some reason.
Yeah.
Do you even watch TV?
I don't. I watch 20 minutes of TV every night right before I go to bed.
And what's that?
Seinfeld.
Is it just that?
It's in a loop on Netflix. It starts at the
So you watch?
episode.
Because my question was Netflix or Hulu. So obviously it's Netflix, just strictly for Seinfeld, which is an incredible answer.
That's the only thing. I don't watch any news, so I know nothing what's going on in the
You don't
world.
need to.
I know nothing.
Just
I
need
live
to
in
know
my own bubble.
You just need to know the real estate. You just need to know the market. That's
just need to know the market. I
that's
know
it.
that
I'm the
well.
same way. I'm good. Do you prefer beaches or mountains?
Beaches all day long.
Laptop or desktop?
A laptop. I don't even have a desktop.
Really?
Yeah.
Figured you would have something I have over here. Just
That's very impressive, Dan.
What's your secret talent, if you have one?
If I had a secret talent, it's positivity.
Still?
Yeah.
You're right.
You need something different besides positivity?
Yeah, like I want to hear like, I don't know, somebody has certain things they're able to do. Like, not everybody knows the certain side.
I feel like I feel like I'm really good at kind of fitting in all different capacities. So I feel like I'm still the Brian Karp construction worker. I'm also I could still speak to family offices and be more institutional. I feel like I'm very good.
Do you feel I feel this way about myself because I came from blue collar, my father blue collar, and then we leveled up. But because I worked so long in construction and being around construction workers, blue collared individuals, that I definitely have a skill set to make myself very relatable to virtually almost anybody.
Very similar thing, exactly. I know, like, when I was a construction worker for 9 years, I never told anyone I was slinging real estate on the side and doing all those things.
Wow, so this was all. So that was your secret talent when you were back
well, no,
then.
I used to. Yeah, I used to just go in and do my work and go home.
What was the last movie that made you cry?
I don't think there was one.
didn't
my
think
wife
so.
says that I don't have a tear.
I couldn't see you crying. I don't see that in you. It's just positivity. That all comes out as positivity for you.
A movie that I do get a little sappy is I'm terrible with names, but it's Robin Williams is in it, and the guy is a genius, and he's in Boston.
Goodwill Hunting.
So that one, just because his friends, the whole movie, all they want him to do is take his, he's got all the talent in the world.
Right.
And that movie gets me emotional. I made my kids watch it.
And he's a blue collar guy.
He's a blue collar guy.
It's everything.
It's everything. And I just fucking love that. He's got all the talent in the world, and all of his buddies because I could relate with it. That was I was a blue collar guy, coming home, drinking your beers on Friday.
Yeah.
I get it. Thank you.
Of course. What can't you live without?
Working out every single day.
Is it you work out every single day?
Every single day. 45 minutes of cardio every single day. Abs 6 days a week. Weights 4 days a week. Cannot live without it.
Are you been on the same? It sounds like you've just been on the same schedule.
It's obviously gotten more heightened the older I get. You know, how the older you get, you start to things get more heightened. Yes, I'm super into fitness.
Okay. What was your first email address?
bcarp500@yahoo.com. You can still email me, but I don't check it.
Really? Mm-hmm. Have you ever played Mario Kart?
I have played Mario Kart with my kids, and I'll beat them.
Okay.
I'm a winner.
My question is, what? The reason I asked you that because it's okay. What character?
Anyone who's green, always green. So Luigi, I think.
What's a guilty pleasure song for you?
Guilty pleasure song? Anything Biggie Smalls.
Okay.
Ready to Die.
Oh man. What's the strangest thing in your fridge right now?
Strangest thing in my fridge, maybe pickles, yogurt. It's very clean in the fridge.
I could see.
Fermented. My wife made fermented broccoli, it's been sitting. And then we also have honey. honey and garlic that's been fermenting for months.
What's going on there?
It's good for you if you have like a cold or something. Like that. We're really into like organic and super clean eating.
What do you think is a overrated food? People say you're just like,
Any sugar. I'm so anti-sugar.
really?
Yeah.
So you no cookies, none of that?
No, none of that.
When was the last time you had a cookie?
A year ago, 2 years ago, and I don't even like it anymore.
You just don't feel good.
No.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
Everything's got to be in order. Like if you came to my desk, everything's straight, everything's organized. I have to unpack as soon as I walk in the door. So when I walk in the door, it doesn't matter what's going on. I have to unpack. Everything's got to go back.
Everything's got to come out of the
inside.
pocket. Yes.
When I travel, I have to unpack the suitcase, everything.
What was the biggest risk you ever taken?
Biggest risk I ever.
Yeah, like it's the risk that you felt like.
I think it was buying my first rent, not the property that me and my wife went into. It was the first rental property I ever purchased. I was scared, and I'll tell the story, and then we'll have to wrap it up.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going with.
Good. It was 6 houses away from the house that I already owned.
Right.
I was looking at rentals for my second rental for years. I kept putting offers in before I was a broker, and I kept getting nervous and backing out. And I'm sitting next to my dad, and he's right where you are. And I'm like, Dad, this is the house. I have an offer accepted. I'm a little afraid to sign the contract. And he puts his hand on my lap, and he's like, Beach, either you buy this house or you better find something else to fucking do. Because I was talking about it for so long, and I bought that house cash, and I was still so scared. Dan, I had a $30,000 like buffer in case it was a brand new house, in case the roof caved in, in case the tenant didn't pay, and I bought that house, and then we were off to the races.
Love it.
And now, just like you, we buy rentals and multifamilies without even walking in the front door.
Can't thank you enough, Brian. Before we sign off, I always love to deliver a little message to my audience. What do you guys say to my audience out there? Something inspirational, some
I think the biggest thing is why not you? And you only take fucking action.
Yes.
Right? And stop talking about it. Right? Every single person is talking about it and thinking about it. Take action.
Thanks, Brian.
My pleasure.